It goes back to like people just like attacking Jake Paul and like wanting to see me fail.
This is a straight up AJ versus Jake Paul. Then we all know what should happen. This is a one-round job.
What I'm saying is, he's a soft touch. He's waiting to get knocked out.
I mean, that's his job. And it's no different going into this fight. Like,
Jake Paul completely lost it on camera, and it was shocking to see. The YouTuber's tears exploded after being exposed by real boxing experts, proving that no amount of effort can replace genuine skill. Anthony Joshua's talent overshadows him, and the audience witnessed a dramatic collapse of confidence in real time.
But it's just like so annoying. It's like, why am I giving, like, not only did I spend like my time.
Jake Paul is trying to hype himself up with stories about laser tag, but it does nothing to change the fact that he is out of his depth. Anthony Joshua is a true professional with real skills and devastating power, and no amount of sneaky tricks or online bravado can prepare Paul for what awaits in the ring.
Beat him in laser tag when we first met in Dubai. He didn't see me coming. I was popping around the corners, shooting him non-stop, eliminated him multiple times, and that's because I'm tricky, I'm sneaky, and I'm fast.
Duke McKenzie is making it clear that Jake Paul is heading into serious trouble. The man can talk all he wants, but Anthony Joshua's skill, strength, and experience make Paul's bravado meaningless. Fans are aware that this isn't just a fight, it's a potential disaster for Jake Paul, who risks being exposed and seriously hurt against a true boxing champion.
Jake Paul is in danger, serious danger. I know you've heard it all before, but I could just reiterate what everybody else is saying. He's in serious danger of being seriously hurt.
John Fury is emphasizing the complete mismatch between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. The level of skill, power, and experience that Anthony Joshua possesses makes any doubt laughable. Fans understand that Jake Paul has no chance to compete with a true champion. The talk of him even lasting is absurd, and it highlights the ridiculous gap between a YouTuber and a real heavyweight legend.
They can't, Anthony Joshua could knock Jake Paul out with his dick. So if it goes any other way, yeah.
Tom Little points out the obvious reality that Jake Paul is unproven against a heavyweight like Anthony Joshua. He may have some skills, but Anthony Joshua's power and technique make him a completely different challenge. Fans can already predict that Paul will struggle and may even quit under the pressure of facing a true world-class champion in the ring.
I'm not saying he can't fight, I'm not saying he's rubbish, I'm not saying he's useless, but we will see how good he is. And if I'm right in what I'm saying, he'll quit.
Carl Frock is laying bare Jake Paul's limitations. He has never faced a heavyweight and has already lost to opponents far below Anthony Joshua's level. The audience can see the ridiculousness of even considering Paul a serious challenger. Anthony Joshua's dominance is clear, and this mismatch exposes Paul's lack of credibility as a professional fighter.
Punching heavyweight, and fake Paul's never been in with a heavyweight. Like I said earlier, he lost to Tommy Fury, a cruiserweight. He lost to him. Tommy Fury's not even British level. So you can't chuck fake Paul in with Anthony Joshua and take it serious. Well, I can't anyway.
Derek Chisora is warning fans about the inevitable outcome if Jake Paul faces Anthony Joshua. There is no power, experience, or skill on Paul's side that can match a true heavyweight champion. The fight is expected to be brutal, and fans already foresee Paul being completely outmatched and possibly ending up in hospital, while Anthony Joshua demonstrates why he is one of the sport's elite.
Whatever happened to be exciting.
Does he have the power to knock out Joshua?
No, he hasn't got the power to knock out Joshua.
How does that fight end?
Jake Paul got into an ambulance, bro.
Anthony Joshua's focus is absolutely relentless, and that's the kind of mentality that separates a world-class champion from a social media entertainer. Jake Paul may try to play mind games or hype himself online, but in the ring, none of that matters. Fans can see Joshua's full commitment to his craft, and his discipline is unmatched. He is thinking only about performing his job to perfection, exploiting every opportunity to dominate. This mindset ensures he will be prepared for every scenario, every trick Paul might attempt, and it highlights the massive gap between a seasoned professional and someone who relies on fame rather than real boxing skill. Jake Paul is stepping into a nightmare.
I have to do my job. It's the only thing that's in my mind right now. And there's no extra time in boxing. Yeah, so yes, I have to do my job, and That's what I'm just thinking about.
Logan Paul perfectly captures the reality that Anthony Joshua is an elite, world-class athlete sculpted for combat. Fans can immediately understand that Jake Paul, despite his hype and confidence, has never faced someone with Joshua's level of skill, power, and precision. This is a man who has dominated heavyweights and has a natural presence in the ring that commands respect. Every punch, every movement is calculated and effective. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's social media fame and flashy persona cannot compensate for the years of professional experience and conditioning that Joshua brings. Fans are witnessing a clear mismatch in skill and athletic perfection, and it becomes obvious that Joshua is mentally and physically operating on a completely different plane.
Anthony Joshua is a former heavyweight champion who's knocked out heavyweight champions.
Has he ever tried like Ozempic or Manjaro?
This is a guy who is already perfect.
Okay.
He's perfect.
Okay.
He's like, if you could sculpt like a perfect gladiator human being, it's Anthony Joshua.
Joe Rogan makes it clear that Jake Paul is walking straight into a fight with an extremely dangerous opponent. Anthony Joshua's one-punch knockout power is legendary, and fans know the consequences of underestimating it. Every fight Joshua enters, he brings a serious threat that can end the contest in a single moment. Jake Paul may be confident, but he has no experience facing a true world-class knockout artist. This is not just a spectacle for social media, it is a real, high-stakes test of survival. Fans can already sense that Joshua is in complete control, mentally and physically, and Paul is dangerously out of his depth.
Fight.
Yeah.
Because Joshua's going to try to make an example out of him, for sure.
And will.
I mean, Anthony Joshua is one of the biggest one-punch KO artists. What he did to Francis Ngannou, good lord.
Yes.
Do you want...
Eddie Hearn emphasizes just how serious this fight is and how reckless it would be for Jake Paul to think he can handle Anthony Joshua. Fans can understand that Joshua will approach this as a professional, focused on ending the contest efficiently and decisively. There will be no mercy, no second chances, and Jake Paul's YouTube fame and bravado cannot shield him from the reality of facing a heavyweight champion. Joshua's intent is clear. He will dominate the ring, leaving Paul no room to maneuver. The contrast between Joshua's discipline and Paul's lack of true boxing experience makes it clear that this is going to be a fight where one man imposes his will completely.
A very dangerous night's work, and AJ will be, people say, oh, will he take it easy on it? AJ will be AJ. He don't mess around, he don't play with his food. He'll be going in there looking to take him out as soon as possible.
Dana White clearly thinks that Jake Paul stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua is a terrible decision. Fans can see that while the fight generates massive attention and curiosity, the reality is one-sided. Joshua's experience, strength, and strategy far surpass Paul's, making it almost inevitable that Paul will be outclassed. The crowd may watch eagerly for drama, but the fight itself will demonstrate the enormous gap in skill and preparation. Anthony Joshua's dominance in the ring is undeniable, and while Paul may try to bring entertainment, it cannot match the power and precision of a true heavyweight champion. Fans are witnessing a collision between hype and real talent.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what, a lot of people will watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
Johnny Nelson nails the reality behind Jake Paul's career choices. While Paul might be enjoying short-term financial gains from these novelty fights against former professionals or fading stars, stepping into the ring with Anthony Joshua is a completely different level. Fans can see that Joshua represents everything Paul cannot buy or imitate: elite skill, heavyweight experience, knockout power, and mental toughness. Joshua is a man who has built his legacy through decades of disciplined training and facing top-tier opposition. Paul, no matter how flashy or confident, is risking serious damage because the reality of a true heavyweight fight is ruthless. This could very well be Paul's last stunt fight, not because of a lack of courage, but because stepping against a legitimate champion like Anthony Joshua is a nightmare. Even the most hyped social media stars cannot survive unscathed. The audience is already anticipating the inevitable.
Paul himself might be cashing out because the big purses that he's pulling, fighting these has-beens or ex-fighters, they're dropping slowly but surely. So maybe, just maybe, this might be his last fight, getting in there with Anthony Joshua, and getting knocked out.
Duke perfectly sums up the dangerous illusion surrounding this fight. Fans can understand that while the financial rewards may be tempting for Jake Paul, the actual risk is enormous. Anthony Joshua is not here for publicity or easy money. He is here to impose his dominance, and Paul is stepping into an environment where a single punch can completely change everything. The reality is brutal for Paul because Joshua's skill level and power are unmatched in Paul's experience spectrum. Fans watching know that Paul's stock may rise on social media hype, but in the ring, his reputation is meaningless. The serious threat of being knocked out or even hospitalized is real, and the contrast between Joshua's preparedness and Paul's superficial skill set is stark. This is more than a fight. It is a reckoning that could permanently expose Paul's limitations while reinforcing why Anthony Joshua remains one of the most feared heavyweights in the world.
It'll be the easiest fight of his career. If he wants to get 100 million and not even break sweat, you know, you take the fight. Is it going to enhance his stock as the world's #1 contender? Not at all, because nobody's going to take Jake Paul seriously. But on the other hand, should I don't even want to play devil's advocate. What if Joshua hurts this guy, seriously hurts this guy, and puts this guy in hospital?
Tony Bellew highlights the massive physical and experiential advantage Anthony Joshua holds over Jake Paul. Fans can see the sheer size, strength, and professional mastery gap that exists between them. Joshua is bigger, heavier, and vastly more experienced, which makes every prediction in his favor almost a certainty. Paul may have confidence in social media fame, but stepping into the ring with a heavyweight champion of Joshua's caliber exposes him to serious physical danger. The moment Joshua's gloves touch the canvas, it becomes clear that Paul's bravado will be tested in a way his prior opponents never could. Fans are aware that this fight isn't just about entertainment, it is a true measure of professional skill versus hype, and every punch, every movement will demonstrate why Joshua is in a completely different league. Paul's lack of experience, combined with Joshua's overwhelming power and precision, ensures the fight will be short, brutal, and unforgettable.
Anthony Joshua, who's now 5 inches bigger than you, maybe more, or 4 or 5 inches, and about 100 pounds heavier. You just don't go from there right up to there. I don't believe it. And I won't believe it until the two of them got 10-ounce gloves on in a boxing ring. Because if Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long.
The build-up to this fight has been nothing short of explosive and chaotic, with Jake Paul's antics, his tears after criticism, and the social media hype reaching a fever pitch, but the reality is that Anthony Joshua stands on an entirely different level. Fans can see Joshua's discipline, power, and ring IQ towering over Paul's flashy confidence and lack of genuine boxing skill. If Anthony Joshua wins, it will reinforce why true experience, preparation, and technique always prevail over hype and social media fame. If Jake Paul somehow shocks the world, it would be a monumental upset, but the odds are overwhelmingly against him because Joshua is mentally stronger, more focused, and built for moments like this. Every expert and former champion has highlighted the massive gap between them, and the audience can feel the tension and anticipation building. Are you backing Anthony Joshua to dominate the ring, or could Jake Paul pull the impossible upset? Drop your thoughts below and join the debate now.